Hi folks, I'm Ian Baker, the product specialist with Camping World, and today we're going to go over the 2019 Keystone Montana 3700 LK. This is a beautiful, huge rear kitchen floor plan. As you can see, you have massive countertops back here. It's excellent for the person that likes to cook and entertain and still have a good space in order to hang out. So let's actually start off right over here on your buffet style dinette. So what I really like about this dinette is that it's perfectly sized for two people, just as it is right now. However, if you want additional guests, this does open up. You have a lever right here you can pull, allows you to pull the table out just like that. Then you have an additional leaf here as well that you can pull out. So this way, it's a nice large table. You have two foldable chairs that are tucked away under the bed. You can put those here, easily be able to sit 4 people. Another cool thing about this is right over here, take a look at this. You have a pop-up power tower. So right here you have your 2 standard 110 outlets. You also have dual USB ports on there. So if you have to plug in tablets, laptops, whatever else while you're sitting here at the table, you can easily do that as well. All the way around here you have windows. Every window in this RV opens, so you can definitely get some great cross ventilation through the slide here. You'll also notice the roller shades, which work very well. And I like the fact that Montana uses beige instead of black, because at night when you want your privacy, it doesn't make it feel dark in here. Speaking of light not being dark, you'll see the new light they put right up top above this table for 2019. I really like this one. It kind of makes it pop right here. You'll see some accent lighting. Rather than having your accent lighting in the crown molding, they have accent lighting here in this light as well as underneath your countertop. So something that's a little bit more visible to most people as they come in. But talking about the crown molding, let's take a quick look at some of the ceiling and some of the features we have up here. You'll notice that it still has your quiet, cool AC in here, just like we had in 2018, which is phenomenal. 30 to 35% quieter. So while you're sitting here having a meal or when you're watching TV in the living room, you don't have to, turn the TV way up or have to yell over the AC to be able to hear each other. You have your ceiling fan in the living room, which we'll see in a little bit as well. LED lights, and right here in the kitchen is your max air fan. So that way if you're cooking something, you have this gorgeous hood, which is fantastic. Obviously we'll see that in just a second, but this works well too to help really suck those smells out of the coach. Or if you just, again, want that cross ventilation, open up some windows, turn on that max air fan, it does an awesome job. Then as we move a little bit further, we get into the kitchen, very residential style kitchen. You have the big storage above the fridge. Folks, this is an awesome spot to be able to put some of your cookbooks or, some bigger items that you don't get to a whole lot just because you'll want a step stool to be able to get up there. But I love the fact that it is a big storage area there. You have the frosted glass too to help, again, break up the wood look a little bit. 18 cubic foot Norcold fridge freezer combo. This is an RV fridge, so this one does run off electric and propane, has your automatic switch over on there. So again, 18 cubic foot, that's the exact same size as what you'll get in the residential fridge, but again, this one does run off propane. Moving over a little bit further, so there's that gorgeous hood I was talking about, stainless steel hood. This one does have a light as well as 3 different fan settings there. Your max air fan control is right over here. You have the upgraded Furion cooktop there, much more residential look and feel. The center one, of course, is high output, and right underneath is your oven. So if you want to do some baking, you certainly have the capability to do that as well. Directly underneath your oven there is your propane leak detector. So, if there ever is a leak in the oven or anything, it will sense it really quickly. Moving back up, we'll move to some of the storage up top here. You see the corner storage. That's, for me personally, again, I'd probably put like all my spices and stuff in there just because I love to take a ton, but it's a huge storage space. So, if you want to put plates, cups, things like that, you can certainly do that as well. Some storage right up top here. And then directly underneath that is your convection microwave oven. You'll see the weight on this unit, a little over 13,000 pounds. By no means is it a lightweight unit, and it's not intended to be. So you will want to make sure you have the truck to be able to pull it. But again, that is your convection microwave oven. Sorry for the cardboard, folks. This one just came from the manufacturer, so we haven't got a chance to clean it up yet. But this one, the convection microwave oven is great. It obviously works as a microwave and an oven, so if you don't want to use the conventional, the convection here, it does cook a little bit quicker, plus it is easier to clean. Another pop-up tower right over here. So, you know, again, if you need to plug anything in, coffee maker, blender, whatever else, you have the capability to do that. Otherwise, you can just tuck it away right there, nice and streamlined. And that just drops right into your beautiful solid surface countertops. Making our way down below. A couple of drawers right here. Full extension ball bearing drawers. As I mentioned, it is underlit, which helps light up your drawers at night too, which is just a nice added bonus there. And you have storage underneath. Take a look at that. Big storage space right there. You know, if you want to put some of your big pots and pans in there, you can do that. As far as a trash can, you have a trash can right next door. So big pull-out trash can here too. The thing I like about that is it is a dedicated place. You don't have to worry about where to put it. And I like that it actually pulls out too. Rather than having to open it up to get in there, pull it out, throw your stuff in, shut it right back like so. Underneath the sink, you have great storage there too. You know, big kitchen like this, you expect to have big storage. You definitely have it. You can see the storage space for your sink top covers as well, as it certainly does come with them. Speaking of the sink, there that is. Undermount double bowl stainless steel sink. Folks, Montana uses a huge sink. This bowl right here is not only large, it's very deep. Extremely usable. I love their sink choice. Obviously, smaller one over here for rinsing dishes. High-rise pull-out faucet. Not only does this make it easier to wash and rinse dishes, but also if you have to fill up like a pitcher or something on your countertop. I use it quite a bit for my Keurig. You know, that way instead of having to take the water basin off, I just take the faucet, just fill the Keurig up right where it sits. It's pretty handy. Window right behind the right behind your sink here. So big window lets in a lot of natural light. Again, I love the fact they have a roller shade here rather than your standard your standard blinds that, you know, they had the metal ones that bend and everything like that. I love having the big roller shade there. All the roller shades here, by the way, folks, do have a day shade on them as well. You can see that right behind here. So obviously I just have the night down right now, but there is a day one there too. So you have a couple different options. Moving slightly over a little bit further, this is, you know, where I would personally probably put all my plates and bowls, things like that. But again, you know, whatever makes your kitchen functional is how you'll want to do it. So good storage space there. Another thing I do want to mention, you know, sometimes it's the little things that really pop. I love the fact they put crown molding on top of the cabinets. That's a really great look. Again, you know, giving you that residential feel like you would have in a home. Then same thing right here. They have like the lip on the bottom. Again, just making those cabinets pop. Wine rack right there. You know, even if you don't drink wine, it's still a really nice look to have a wine rack. Again, if you like entertaining guests, not a bad idea to have some wine around. And then another pop-up tower right over here. You'll also see the tile backsplash here. Folks, you have this running the entire length of the kitchen, and this is actual tile. This is not a sticker. You know, beautiful high-end tile there. Really helps complement the countertop colors too. You have one more drawer right here. So plenty of drawers in here. More storage underneath right there. And lastly, some storage right over here. Now, the other cool thing I like about this kitchen setup is while you're sitting here cooking, preparing food, you still are able to see the TV. So if you're watching a movie or something like that, you're not going to miss anything. Maybe you're watching a cooking show and following along. That makes it pretty easy. So as we step into this main living area, this is something you would normally see this setup in like a front living room or in like the Montana rear den floor plan, where you have dual opposing slides here. Both of these are tri-fold sofas. Not only does this give you great seating area for entertaining guests, but also both of these do fold out into beds, so you can sleep 4 extra adults in this coach, which is great for being a couple's model. Right over here is your theater seating, again, directly across from the TV, probably the best seat in the house. You'll see it does have this removable armrest right here in the center. It has a couple of cup holders here as well. I don't know that I would use that a ton just because it's, you know, not super sturdy, but it is great to have the armrest there. If you do have beverages you need to set in, I recommend using the edge ones right here. A couple things about these, you will see it has a light on there, so this little ring lights up, just kind of a cool effect. More importantly for me though is the fact that these are powered, so you can push open and close, and the recliner portion will do exactly that, open and close for you. Now you do have to have shore power, a generator running to make that work, but the cool thing about that is oftentimes I find that people struggle to lock it back in place when they go to put the recliner down. With the power, you certainly don't have to worry about it. Just makes life nice and easy for you. As I said, the TV right here, front and center, big TV, so you can, view it again from the kitchen or either couch, your theater seating, whatever seat fits your style. And right here is your entertainment center, your multimedia center. This one is hooked up to the TV. It's a DVD player. It is Bluetooth capable. It does use a HDMI port. I know a lot of people, yelling at the RV industry for still using audio-video cables. This one does have HDMI, which is nice. It does control the speakers in here as well as outside. You'll see you have speakers right there on the side. And then underneath is your fireplace. Big fireplace. Not only does this look great, but folks, it's also very functional. That is essentially a space heater. So if you don't want to use propane, again, you have shore power. Turn this on. It'll help take the chill off in your main living space. And then you have storage going all the way across the top here. If we take a quick look up top, I do want to show you that you have another max air fan right here. So there are two in this main living area, again, helping to circulate that air. Of course, you have the ceiling fan. But more importantly, folks, this one is also pre-wired for a third AC. So if you're going somewhere where it's really hot, this is a pretty good size fifth wheel and you really want to keep it cool, you can put that third AC in there. Right here in the entryway, you have the max air fan control. You also have your thermostat there, light switch here too for the light in your entertainment center. Right up top, some good storage right there. If you plan on doing some late season camping, it's probably a good spot to put some of your hats, gloves, scarves, things like that. And then right down below is your main control panel. Obviously everything's here from your ceiling fan to your water heater, your water pump. Something that is important to note, at least in my opinion, is the fact this one does have tank heaters on all of your tanks. So not only is it insulated, and if your furnace is running, you have heated air blowing down there, but you also have these 12-volt tank heaters. So if you're traveling through cold areas where obviously because you're traveling, you don't have your furnace running, you can still turn those on to make sure your tanks don't freeze up on you. And then underneath that, you have some good additional storage. Another cool thing is this right here, you have this motion light right at the entryway. That way, if you leave for the night, go to your neighbor's campfire, you can shut all the lights off in here, open the door up, walk in, and then you'll have that light turn on. Right underneath this step is where your central vac is located. So that one does have the hose as well as the kick plate. That way you can make sure everything stays nice and clean. And then right here you have corkboard for some notes. You also see the key rings for any keys you want to hang up. And then you have your coat hooks there as well. The master bedroom is quite spacious thanks to the slide out we have in here. And in that slide is your king size bed. It's great having a king bed so you're not elbowing each other in the middle of the night. You also have plenty of storage here underneath. That is strut supported, so it's easy to lift up, easy to drop down. There are your two foldable chairs I was mentioning when we were in the dining area. You'll also notice you have shelves on either side of the bed and electrical outlets there as well, so that way you can charge any cell phones at night, or if you sleep with a CPAP machine, it gives you a place to plug that in too. You have windows on both sides of the slide. Again, those windows do open, so if you don't want to run the AC at night, you can have cross ventilation there. Leather headboard and some LED reading lights. If we take a look right up front here, you have mirrored wardrobe. Both these slider doors here are mirrored. If you take a look in there, obviously you have your hanging rod, you have motion sensor light in there, plenty of shoe storage, and this is a new addition that I enjoy as well. You have the laundry hamper here, so that way you have a spot in which you can put all of your dirty clothes. Over to this side is your washer and dryer prep. Now, if you don't want washer and dryer, no big deal. You have the shelf space here. You can obviously remove that shelf too if you want to use the hanging rod up top. Otherwise, you have all that extra storage down below. The bag there is the items for your central vac. Then at the foot of the bed, you'll notice you have your dresser right here. So you have 6 drawers, pretty decent sized drawers too. It's enough to put your underwear, socks, things like that in. You have an electrical outlet over to the side, so if you need to plug anything in over here, you have the capability to do that as well. A window there and the TV up top. The thing I do like about this TV is the fact that they angled it. That was one of the complaints that a lot of people had, was the TV was tough to see. So Montana listened, actually angled it down to give you a better viewing angle to bed, which is pretty neat. If we take a look up top at the ceiling here, you will notice a couple things. Again, this one has the quiet cool AC. So when you're sleeping at night, if you do have the AC running, it'll be quieter. It's not going to sound like a hurricane in here. You have your Winegard raised our antenna there, which is a low profile antenna. And then the door, the entrance door here is actually a barn style door, which is pretty cool. So they went with a slider door. Again, just kind of following some of those residential trends. Now that we've seen the inside, let's take a look at some of the outside features on the Montana 3700 LK. Starting off right up front is your gorgeous painted front cap. You'll notice it does have some LED lights inlaid in there. And then you also have the hitch vision, which is essentially a mirror. So that way as you are backing up, it helps align your kingpin with the hitch. Speaking of the kingpin, this one does utilize the Road Armor kingpin, which has a pivoting head here, helping to take out some of that bucking and chucking. You'll also see that you have an LED light there to, again, if you're hooking up at night, you can turn that on, just gives you some added visibility. Underneath, you have big storage right up here. You will see everything is nice and neat and organized. They kind of kept everything over to one side, which is great. You'll also see your hydraulic fluid tank over there. So if you need to fill your hydraulic fluid, that is where it'll be. Your battery is housed over there as well. Coming right outside here, you'll notice the level up system. This coach does have auto level standard. So touch a button, it levels out for you. Definitely makes the setting up and tearing down process easy, as it does have memory too. So that way when you go to pick it back up, the fifth wheel will go to exactly where you dropped it off at, making it easier to hook back up. 30-pound propane tank on this side, same on the other, for a total of 60 pounds of propane. And then the large pass-through. Of course, you have a covered hinge on there. Slam latch baggage doors work wonderfully. It's also magnetic on this side. Because you don't have a slide here, you don't want it to just sit out here, then it kind of impedes your camp space. So this folds all the way up just like so. And if we take a look in there, folks, you can see how incredibly large your basement storage is in Montana. And that's because they utilize drop frame construction, where essentially they take an I-beam all the way up to right about here, and then they weld a little bit smaller I-beam going the rest of the way forward, which still gives you excellent structural integrity, but also adds this huge space right here. The reason everyone doesn't do it, it is a little more expensive for the manufacturer to do that, and also it adds weight. So like I said, this one's not meant to be a lightweight unit, but they do maximize features like your huge storage space here. You'll also notice inside you have central vac. You also have a vent there. So if the furnace is running, you can see a couple vents helping to heat this space up. And you have TV connection in there too. If we drop down below real quick, I can kind of show you the I-beams. You'll see the I-beam running right here. And if you see if it stops, that's because the I-beam jumps up and runs all the way back. You'll also see that this one does have the enclosed and heated underbelly on there. Coming back up, you have an electrical outlet right outside, so if you need to plug something in, you don't want to have to get into your pass-through, that'll be the place to do it. If we take a look up top, you will notice the awning on here. So touch a button to roll that awning out. Same thing to have it go back in. Super easy to operate. It also has an LED light strip there. Of course, you have your rain gutters above that, as well as your rollover roof. And then you will see that you have the frameless windows on here. Frameless windows are fantastic. Not only do they look nicer, you can also have them open while it's raining, because the way they open helps get some airflow so it's not all stuffy, but you generally won't get rain in there. Also, if you notice, you don't have seals on the outside. They're tucked behind that glass, so they are protected better from the elements. You will notice your dual speakers on here. So that way, if you want to listen to some music outside, you can do that. Again, those are hooked up to your multimedia center inside, but that unit is Bluetooth capable. Your entryway is right here. Montana's gone to the More Ride step system. Fantastic steps, folks. These are super sturdy. You can see you can jump on these. They don't have any flex to them. All the treads are aluminum, so the treads won't rust out. You have grip tape on there too, so if it's wet, you have additional traction. And they've given you a larger grab handle. This is actually extended out further than most of them that are this style, specifically so from the first step here, you can grab it and actually use it for good control. The door itself is a friction hinge door, so you can just kind of put that wherever you want. It'll stay there, hold winds up to about 20 miles an hour. And for the steps here, the way you put them up, you just kind of lift the steps up like so. Now, one of the things Montana does that, to my knowledge, no other manufacturer currently does with this system of steps is that they have the pistons right here. So that way, what you can do is, look at that, it just stays right there. These steps aren't the lightest things in the world. I know that's mainly aluminum, But, you know, if you're a little bit older, you don't have the upper body strength, they're a little bit shorter, it can be tough. But with the Montana folks, it is super simple. They do a great job. We take a look right over here underneath the slides. Look at the wheels real quick. You will see you have aluminum alloy wheels. Great thing about that, just like the treads on our steps, aluminum doesn't rust, so they'll stay looking gorgeous. And right in between is the road armor system. So I talked about the kingpin up front, helping take out some of the bucking and chucking. This will give a smoother ride while going down the road, which will not only improve your towing, but also help prevent a lot of things inside from knocking around a lot and braking, because this reduces a lot of the vibration from the road into the coach. Right back here is your spare tire. If you have to get to it, you can see right there where you put your tool to drop that down. Hopefully you never have to use it, but folks, if you do, now you know where it's located. Here on the back of the Montana is your rear mounted ladder, so you can climb up onto the roof. It is a fully walkable roof up there, so if you have to get up there for any kind of maintenance, or if you just want to get up there for a higher vantage point, either way, you will be all set. You'll see right there in the center, you have backup camera prep. If you want a backup camera, which with a big RV like this may not be a bad idea, having the prep makes it easier to install, meaning it will save you money on labor. Right down here is your 50 amp plug-in with, you know, 2 ACs, the possibility of a third and a fireplace. You definitely need 50 amp. And granted, you can still hook up to 30 with the drop down, but you know, you'll only be running 1 AC at a time. And then right down here is a hitch. So this one is not meant to tow anything. This is specifically for things like a bike rack or any other rack you want to put on there. That one has a 200-pound weight capacity on it. Coming around over here, we'll drop this down for you. You'll see your gray tank valve right there. So this is one of your 2 terminations. Again, because this is able to operate in your colder climates, they made sure that they tucked your valves away and they're insulated. That termination will be right back here. The other one, if you can see it, will actually be in front of that jack right over there. So we can see that termination there. And the valves for that will be in the convenience center, which I'll show you in just a moment. Right over here is your water heater. Great thing about the Montana, folks, this is a 12-gallon water heater. That's pretty darn big for a 5th wheel. Most of the time, you'll get a 10-gallon. Some manufacturers will put a 6-gallon, even in a big 5th wheel. So that 12-gallon will definitely help if you'd like to take a little bit longer showers. Termination, I talked about the main termination. You can see that is located right there. And the controls for it are right over here. You'll see your black tank and gray tank. Again, those are insulated. Everything else you basically need is in here as well. You have your low point drains, your black tank flush. You know, you can see your water inlet. You also have a system for winterizing, so that way you can pump glycol through the system. This is great too because it tells you exactly how to do it right here. It shows you how to bypass your water heater and how to winterize everything. So if ever you're confused, you have the nice little handy guide. Outside showers in there as well, battery disconnect, as well as your cable and satellite inlets. Last thing I want to show you is right up here, right in front of your propane tank. This is your level up system control. So again, that's how you operate your level or your auto level. Just open that up. And again, you have a nice legend right there in case you forget how to operate it. All right, folks, that wraps it up. This was the 2019 Keystone Montana 3700 LK. If you're interested in this 5th wheel and you'd like price and availability, simply click on the link in the description below. Thanks again for watching. I'm Ian Baker, and let's go camping.